Welcome to the second webinar of the Seabird Habitat Seminar Series. Today we'd like to welcome Professor Srinivasan, who is joining us from Tamil Nadu in India. I first met Professor Srinivasan when I visited the mangroves of Pichavaram in Tamil Nadu. Professor Srinivasan is Professor, Director and Dean at the Center of Advanced Study in Marine Biology, which is located in easy access to a number of biotopes, including the mangroves of Pichavaram, the backwaters, and the estuary and coast. So I believe it's the Vella estuary, is it?
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. And the center is a reputed center in marine science in Annamalai University. It was founded in 1957 and it has awarded more than 750 PhDs in marine biology. It's a center located in a small village, but it is big hub for one of the oldest marine institutes in India. And so Professor Srinivasan will be talking about the sand dune ecology in the east coast of India.
Namaste to all of you. And I pray Almighty, first of all, to have a COVID-free, healthy environment for all the citizens around the world. And I thank Joshi Madam for giving a chance for me to interact today in this beautiful about the, she told about our department and also about our achievements. And I'm happy to see that old slides of she is preserving very good documents she has about our department. We are all concentrating on many, and the nature has given the nature's gift, like mangroves, which is the beautiful Avicennia rhizopora. The trees grows in the salt water, and it is acting as a bioshield against a cyclone or tsunami. It is preventing the speed of the waves, speed of the wind. So these are the importance of mangroves, which is located throughout our Indian east and west coast of India. But coral reefs also we are giving more importance. Corals are garden of the sea. So we are studying about coral reef ecology. Then we are concentrating on estuarine ecology. We are concentrating on mangrove ecology and also lagoon ecology. But regarding these sand dunes, that is when compared to the research or when compared to the studies on this ecosystem, sand dunes is found to be less. So I made an attempt to see that about the sand dunes. So what is a sand dune? It's a large mound of hills of sand found close to the beaches are called sand dunes. It's very beautiful to see blue color water sea, the white color sand, and with covered with the greeny area. So if you come to our Pondicherry or Kadalur Silver Beach, you can able to see such a beautiful, very good, what do you say, very good sceneries like this. So I wonder the green color and blue color water, which just nearby you can able to see that. Beach is closely linked to the sea, controlled by waves and tides. The dunes are linked to land and are controlled by winds. So you know, all 24 hours into 365 days, wind velocity will be there, waves velocity will also there. So what happened? The sand dunes are a natural wonder with beauty and majesty, all their own. Sand dunes are the dynamic elements of the landscape. So we have to study on this, we have to make a survey and we have to preserve it. The Environmental Protection Act also insisting on all these things. Next slide. Next slide. So how the sand dune is formed? The sand dune formation is formed in three ways. the saltation, creep, and suspension. So all due to the wind velocity, the sand grains bounce along in the wind. About 90% of the sand grains move in this manner. The creep, you can see this diagram, see how it is made as a barrier. When sand grains collide with other grains like clay or gravel, causing them to move, creep accounts about 4% of the sand movement. These are some of the research finding how the dunes are formed. Suspension, sand grains blow high in the air and they settle. About 1% of the sand move this way. So the continuous movement of the wind velocity and also the movement of the sand particles make like this. Next slide. Now there are three types of dunes were classified. There are different kinds of dune system. Specific feature of dune system that can be identified: 4 dunes, that is just near the sea. Mid dunes. Mid dunes means maybe up to 40 from the wave point of view, high tide, you find the 40 meters. Back dunes means more than 100 meters. So just for example, I'm telling you exactly it won't come like that. So let us see what is 4 dunes. Next. 4 dunes are continuously distributed by the waves, disturbed by the wave action. You can see the diagram or photograph. The photograph shows that the 4 dune is very close to the waves. During full moon or during new moon, the tide action will be more, and these dunes are disturbed always. The wind blown sand being trapped by vegetation. This is the area where sand binders such as thrive, as they are well adapted to this highly variable environment. So this area is, the plants found is highly adapted. Next slide. Mid dunes. See, this semi-stable transition zone between the dynamic 4 dune zone and the stable landward zone is dominated by a limited number of low growing or hardy wind tolerant natives. So this is the mid dune is in between that hind dune and 4 dune, and it is having specific vegetations. But what is my studies say that Ipomea spinifex, these 2 plants on this Ipomea having beautiful violet color flower, it is having a lengthy root. You can see that root is it goes up to different meters level, and it's making binders. And fishermen, if they want fresh water, they used to dig near the sand dunes, they get the fresh water. Sea is salt water, but nearby, near the mid dunes, they can able to get the potable drinking water. Next slide. Back dunes. So the back dunes, as I told, 100 or 150 meters away from the coastal area, located beyond the established, more stable, and covered with intermediate woody and herbaceous species. You can able to see some small trees like coconut trees, palmyra trees, and all these found in that area. Eventually, these dunes will succeed and covered with woody shrub and tree species forming coastal forecast. See, these dunes, I have recorded nearly 45 dunes from Porto Novo, that is from near Pichavaram to up to Pondicherry only. I have made a survey. This type of data. I'm happy to tell that we have given this data to the Environment Science Department also. Next slide. Then there is classification also. There is a classification of sand dune field, like broadly classified into 2 types. The transgressive dunes, also known as mobile or migrated dunes, and sand drift. Transgressive dune field are generally located where wave energy is high and sand supply is moderate to high, or where significant coastal erosion has occurred. The transgressive dune fields can be unvegetated, partially vegetated, or completely vegetated, and the dunes are often have the fish scale shape. I will show the diagram. Next slide. Then this is the photograph of the transgressive it is a small village in the Samyarpatti coastal village. You can see there is no any vegetation found in these dunes. Next slide. The retentive dune fields comparatively more vegetated, and this is most of the back dunes are retentive dunes. We can see that it is mostly vegetated. You can see the very big greeny area in this area. Next slide. Next slide. And this is known as Pudupettai, where I have made a survey. You can see the cashew trees are, these are back dunes where you can able to see plenty of cashew trees or small forest is also there. It is planted by the forest department itself and maintained. Next slide. And I made a survey on what are all the flora found in that. It's already beach morning glory. This is a medicinally important plant, Ipomia pescarpe. Sand Spinifex litorius. It is having a what do you say? Like needles. If you have the seed, it will float very easily in the air. In Tamil, it is known as Ravana Mustak, Ravana Misa, it's called as. In Tamil, they use it. Then you can find many trees like Palmyra, Casuarina, cashew tree, neem tree, coconut tree, then tamarind tree, the Indian coral tree, hibiscus, all these, and then erku, milkweed. That is, there's no erku in Tamil. So these trees are found in this flora recorded. Next slide. Fauna. Animals found include burrow-dwelling mice, some snakes, crab, the sea turtle coming for nesting to lay the eggs there. It comes to sand dunes. Some of the small does, small birds, and migrating butterflies. It's all recorded in the sand dunes. Next slide. Importance of coastal sand dunes. It's a natural character. They are part of the coastal environment, which is coming under the Environment Protection Act, and it is known as matter of national importance. And it is important to note that natural character refers to the unmodified coastal environment. Therefore, human development is generally like tourism, construction of some of the hotels, and this tourism is, you can say, many, if you go to Goa or you go to any Mumbai or in Sri Lanka, and these all the sand dunes were converted into so many for recreation purposes. So these should be avoided. These provide habitat for plants and animals. So sand dunes is a home for many plants and animals, which I told you in the last slide itself. Next slide. The coastal protection also I have given. So it's a natural barrier given by the nature against the wind and waves. If a fisherman villages stay near the sand dunes, definitely they won't affected by any even highest high tide or any storm. It is acting as a natural barrier. There is some proven records are there. Those who lived in Nagapattinam, that is the area in the east coast of India, where a famous church is there, Velangani Church, Mada Church is Jesus Church, a big church is there, historical church, where there is no sand dunes, many people were killed. Whereas in certain places near Kadalur old town, sand dunes are there, people never died. They are protected because of sand dunes. It is a very good coastal protection. Medicinal value, fishermen used to treat, if there is any bite of the jellyfish or any pain in their body, they used to take the plant paste and they apply on the skin, and it is cured. So it is actually bioactive compounds derived from this Ipomia spinifex, a high level of antifungal, antibacterial, even anti-cancer activities also is there. And yeah, now you can see that sand dunes are converted into tourism near the beaches. So there are so many places were developed in Mahabalipuram and in the east coast roadways from Chennai to Pondicherry. You can see many tourism spots is there. Next slide. See that turtle nesting is very common near the sand dunes. And due to some of the sand mining and industry development also, power plants, for example, one of the biggest power plant came at two places near Kanyakumari. There is a Kodangulam Atomic Research Thermal Power, and near Pichavaram, there is a newly power plant has arisen now with known as ILFS with the help of China. So they are developing now. This is the natural barriers of the mangroves. Mangroves also they are used for the shrimp culture and so on. That is all to be avoided. Regulations should be brought very strictly. Next slide. Yeah, this is also showing the tourism near the beach sand dunes. Next slide. Yeah, this is very important. My dear participants or audience, you see that government is spending several thousands of dollars to have this sea wall or grioin. The coastline using sea walls for the coastal protection. They are using this erected in most part and protect housing and industrial development is increasing every year. The coastal sand dunes depend on the adjacent sandy beaches for the supply of sand. What they used to take, they remove all the sand dunes and they put all this rock, and now they are facing the wave pattern and corrosion, erosion and corrosion goes to from, for example, if I living in this place, if I put all this seawall, it will go up to 10 kilometers. The wave action goes there. Not to me, the affected, some other people are affected. All are citizens of the country. So this type of thing is not recommended in our view. So we have given some recommendation to the government also. Next slide. Then it is the sand dunes have then archaeological values also, because the dune environment has significant cultural and archaeological value arising from occupation of this Maori in the past. Those areas where occupation is known to provide valuable source of pre-European records relating to human settlement as well as serving as a reminders of our history. These area can also contain Urpa, ancient burial grounds. In Kadalur, I have seen Robert Clive. He is the British soldier, and now he became the he's as a governor also here during British ruled in India. The Silver Beach we can able to see in the sand dunes, the ancient burial grounds also found. Considering it is important these areas are retained and protection can be afforded properly if there is an accurate understanding of the coastal processes. Next slide. Threats to coastal sand dunes. Sand dunes are continuously evolving system will respond to changes in their local environment. A lack of sediments, storm events, and heavy recreational use can all have significant detrimental impact on this fragile habitat. The points below set out some of the key issues and threats. Some of the major threats and lead to degradation of coastal sand dune system are detailed below. Next slide, I will show what are all the threats. The industry development, sand mining, concession of thermal power plant, which I already told you. Next slide. You can able to see complete in the left side, the first top, the left side, you can able to see that complete road formation is there. Similarly, the right side below, you can able to see a bulldozer or earth mover is removing the sand dunes for some road purpose or for the construction purpose. Next slide. So how to manage this? Legal protection of the existing sand dunes from the further losses of anthropogenic factors, whether caused directly or indirectly. So we have to make some issues. The restoration of sand dune vegetation that will form slowly. Again, they can able to rejuvenate, or you can able to get the sand dunes, because one sand dunes to formation of sand dune, it took nearly, there's a data 300 years. 300 years if you want to have near 40 feet height of sand dunes for 1 kilometer length, 40 meters height. In 3 years it will take. So within 1 hour, the bulldozer tries. So it should be restored. And promotion of planning policies, procedures which will aim prevent and minimize the further losses of sand dunes habitat to development. Official legal recognition, involvement of local fishermen, all need for sand dune protection and restoration. Next slide. So continuous monitoring, surveying, what we have done. Restoration of sand dune habitat also we have done with help of forestry, agriculture. They maintain the dune slacks, raising public awareness. I will show in the last slide. We have issued many notices on colorful papers and also some media. We brought awareness about the sand dunes and support monitoring technical to local communities for restoration and protection of sand dunes and associated ecosystem. Next slide. Next, yes. Say this is the awareness. It is in Tamil. So Annamalai University it is funded by UGC Major Research Project, New Delhi, and we have one. You can see one student is having this how to restore where the thick vegetation is there. You take one portion of the plant. Then where it is already removed, we just kept it and regularly watered that. Within 3 months, we can able to see the development and slowly dunes also formed near the Silver Beach. So this brochure in Tamil to create awareness about conservation of sand dune ecosystem we have made. Next slide. Here you can see our research findings brought to the public through newspaper. There is a newspaper, The Hindu, famous paper, English paper. Awareness, conservation of sand dune vegetation. And you can see the title, 2 species of vegetations successfully restored at Silver Beach. The growth was hampered by road laying and formation of grains, and they have given this. So this is the paper news which came during 2010, what the work done by us. Next slide. Next slide. So with this, the natural ecosystem like Pichavaram mangrove, this sand dunes is also very important, and we have to protect this fragile ecosystem. I thank the organizers, especially Madam Joshi and the Seabed organization, which has given me an excellent chance. Once again, I invite all of you to India, to our place, Tamil Nadu. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, and we have another question that what measures have been most effective to protect the retentive sand dune fields?
Yeah. For protection of the echo is the protection of the sand dunes, which I already told you, there should be given awareness to the public, and also you should create awareness to the government, and you should have joint hands together. You have to all the ecosystem involve the public. You can have the law, you can have the legal things, but practically the local public and the nearby government area, the area where the sub collectors, district collectors, all these people should have awareness not to disturb mangroves like Pichavaram and also sand dunes. Disturb. That is the only way to protect.
I just want to know that how can tsunami be stopped by sand dunes?
Yeah, tsunami waves will arise up to 30 meters height also. So some places where the sand dunes height is nearly 25 meters height, that can be protected. Some sand dunes are less height, there tsunami water will come. So it will reduce the speed of the tsunami waves. That's I can say. Reduce the speed of the waves, tsunami waves.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Um,
Yes.
What research has been done into the medicinal uses of dune vegetation?
Yeah. The medicinal values of the vegetation already we have made. One Professor Ramanathan has isolated the bioactive compounds as antibacterial and antifungal agents, and these phytochemicals are also is trying for patenting, because fishermen's knowledge about the medicinal importance of the sand dune plants, they are telling we have to prove with the chemistry or the phytochemical value. There was work is it's going on. It is going on.
So I'd just like to thank Professor Srinivasan for joining us and first of all studying this important environment and ecosystem, and for sharing his research with us and informing us of this, of not only the sand dunes but also the mangroves as well.
Yeah.